Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday night at 9, a space where we breathe, release, and remember that even when life feels like a wreck, love can still be steady. Let's inhale peace and exhale the week's chaos. Now, think of one emotion that has been heavily on you this week. Think of one emotion that has been heavy on you this week. Name it quietly and then imagine getting it down. Now imagine setting it down. Now, you don't have to tell me out loud. So, one of my emotions that I have felt this past week, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to put it in the chat and you don't have to speak it out loud. You can keep it to yourself, but I just want you to hold it in the front of your head and just imagine sitting it down. So, for me, I'm going to give you an example for me. One emotion that has been heavy for me lately is being overwhelmed because I have so many deadlines to meet, whether it's within the family, on the job, and then in my personal life. I have so many deadlines to meet. So that is one of the emotions that I have felt for the past, I'll say I felt like for the past couple of weeks. But just imagine me setting it down and still being able to stay emotionally intact. Now, tonight we're talking about emotional healing, the kind that keeps love healthy even when life feels hard. I want to thank everyone so far that has joined us tonight for Sunday night at 9. I am your host, Coach Glenda, here with my course manager, Rufus Carpenter, and we are going to dive in tonight's topic of life's a wreck, but love shouldn't be. All righty. When life feels chaotic, our emotions often run the show. We all get caught up in our emotions and we're being torn in so many different directions. And before you know it, our emotions start to take control of us. Emotional healing helps us love from peace, not pain. So when you think about reset, recognizing where emotions have become overwhelming, healing begins by admitting, I'm hurting. So in the reset phase, when you think about it, you have to always recognize or acknowledge what's going on. Why do you feel the way you feel? Did someone offend you? What's really going on? You're trying to identify where the hurt is coming from, but you have to also acknowledge it. And then you want to start to reconnect. Reconnecting helps. Reconnecting help us heal. It rebuilds communication with yourself as well as with others. Emotional honesty creates safety. So being able to be open and honest in your communication, even with yourself as well as with others, helps you to start reconnecting those pieces where you've been damaged, where you have experienced hurt. And then we get to our final phase, which is the rise portion. It's choosing love rooted in wholeness, not rescue. You don't want to always feel like someone has to come and rescue you. There's a lot of things that you can do for yourself that you don't need someone else. I mean, it's always good to have that support, but sometimes you have to be able to, recognize what's going on in your life and be held accountable and be able to reconnect on your own, because sometimes when you look around, you don't have someone there. It's not saying that you don't have no support, but sometimes that support isn't always there at that very moment. So for that rise again moment, emotional balance keeps relationships from sinking. Like sinking, when you think of your sink in the kitchen, you want everything to go down the drain. So emotional balance keeps relationships from sinking. You don't want to be so overwhelmed that you can't have a genuine emotional connection with someone. All right, so I'm gonna throw out some questions and I'm gonna see if I can get some participation.
Can I jump in before you throw out the questions, Linda? I don't,
Sure, Mr.
and I apologize.
Carpenter.
I apologize, but
No problem. I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight, Mr. Carpenter.
okay. But here's the thing: this topic is a topic that we all know a lot about. This is a topic that we all have wrestled with, and some still may be wrestling with it. Because when you say life's a wreck, and we all know life happens, we all know that. But love shouldn't be a wreck. And when you talk about that, whenever you talk about love being a wreck, you're talking about emotions. And in our neighborhood, we're talking about you in your feelings. You know, your emotions or your feelings, and a lot of times the emotions get the best of you. Sometimes your emotions get you the best of you to the point where you would even hurt your own self trying to hurt another person. When a lot of times when your emotions are so strong, you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's fear, whether it's control, or whether you just don't know what to feel. So before you get into questions, I just want us to realize what when we're talking about emotions, I want to put it out there the right way because you described it very, very well. But a lot of us know it by the way we feel when we go into a relationship, when we feel we've been wrong, when we feel we didn't get the nod when we should have got the nod, or we feel that we've been slighted, or we feel we've been ignored, or we feel that the relationship didn't happen the way we should have happened. We feel that a person took advantage of us, disrespected us. These things get us into our into our feelings. Our feelings even happen if we put on new clothes and want the person to notice it, and they don't even notice our new clothes. They don't even notice the effort we put in trying to get them to understand. You know, we want to be with them, and when they don't comprehend or don't know it, we get in our feelings. And I know I've been in my feelings a whole bunch of times. I know a lot of times I didn't put my head down and walked away and got in my car and went home. You know, so that's what we're talking about tonight, people. We're talking about feelings. And I'm sure all of us have been in that position where our feelings got the best of us. Those emotions, those emotions are so strong that sometimes if you don't get a handle of those emotions, they get a handle on you. So tonight, that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about love is a bunch of feelings and emotions. And we're talking about how do you manage those emotions? How do you manage those feelings? How do you make it work for you instead of against you? All right. Anybody else want to comment on this before Glenda gets into her part? Anybody else want to comment on emotions and some things that they know about emotions, some things about feelings, or some things they want to share before Glenda get into the her part, the open discussion? Okay, Glenda, I think it's on you. You can go ahead and get to your part now, but I just need to get it out so we know what we're really talking about tonight.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so what emotion has been the hardest for you to manage in relationships? So if you could put that in the chat, or if you want to speak out loud, that'd be wonderful. But the first question is, what emotion has been hardest for you to manage in relationships? When you look back over your past relationship, or maybe even your current relationship, what emotion has been the hardest for you to manage?
And we all know what emotions we're talking about, right? We're talking about jealousy. We're talking about sadness. We're talking about insecurity. We're talking about betrayal. We're talking about all these things.
Anyone want to put something in the chat or come off mute so we can discuss and see
Frustration.
what
That's
the
a good one.
other one.
That's a good one. Let me share Sharon's because I
Okay.
have that same issue that Sharon has, frustration. A lot of times you go out your way to set things up, to make things clear, and you feel that the other person should know because you've done all you can to make it plain, make it clear. It's something that that anybody in their right mind should understand and know. And when the person don't reciprocate or don't show up in such a way that they should based on the event, you get frustrated. And when you get frustrated, for me, I get frustrated and I try to calm myself, and I try to say, okay, maybe they didn't quite understand, and let's work through it. But something in the back of my head just won't let me let it go. It's almost as if I gotta let them know that how I'm feeling. And I fight it, that I don't want to come off overbearing. I don't want to come off like I have a lot of control or trying to force the situation. But it's hard for me to wrestle with my frustration sometimes in relationships. And I think Annette said anger. I saw in the chat anger.
Yes, she did.
What comes up for you the most, Glenda? What you've struggled the most with?
Um, hmm. Well, I don't struggle now, but in past relationship, my biggest was the cheating. I'll say 95% of the guys I dated, even from being married, my ex-husband, cheating was always involved. And they had a tendency of blaming it on me because I wasn't available. But at the same time, you didn't bring enough to the table. How can I make myself available to someone when I have, other responsibilities, and all you're looking to do is take, take, take. You never give anything back in return. So mine was the cheating,
So the
constant back to
so
back
the
cheating.
act was cheating, but the emotion was more betrayal.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, got it. I just want to
true.
make sure I'm following you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yes, you are. You're following
okay.
betrayal.
Anyone else want to share their moments of share some things that really they wrestle with and have wrestled with in a relationship or maybe wrestle with it now or in past relationships? I remember when I was younger, jealousy was a thing. Goodness gracious. When I was young, me or nobody else, buddy. That was a hard thing. I had to learn to get over that one. I had to really learn that one.
You were the jealous one?
Heck yeah, when I was young, yes.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had it going on back then, girl.
Oh,
Shoot, if I couldn't pull, who could nobody else pull? That was my younger days. I had to learn the hard way. Anyone else? It was in the chat. Anything in the chat? Anybody put
no, we
in the
called
chat?
out the two that was in the chat, the frustration,
Anger and
anger.
frustration.
Hmm.
Okay, I can deal with frustration. I don't think I get angry anymore. I think the anger part, I think I got over that because if I felt that if I got angry, that would make me go further. That angry may turn to something other than maybe violence. And I've seen my dad and my mom fight, so that kind of led me to believe that anger was not the way to go. So I'd kind of I think I'd get depressed, sad, and walk away before I let anger take over for me because of
Okay.
what I've seen so much in my younger years when my dad beat my mom up, and I promised myself I'd never hit a lady. So
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna move on to the next question.
okay.
Excuse me. Before
Oh,
you move on, I would say, how we said betrayal and jealousy. For
mhm.
me, I think those two things together is like one big thing. But those two things together for me lead to anger for me because it's like when I feel that has happened or is happening to me, I I I become angry. Anger overtakes all of that for me. And in that, I'm ready to defend. It's like the betrayal, the jealousy, all that. It leads me to it's time to defend me. And and I think anger takes over versus sensibility. Now I feel like I would be more sensible about it, because now, hey, it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, I'll move on. But before, up until this point, no, anger. I challenged it. It became a problem. That's it.
That anger emotion, which is we know is a very strong emotion. Have you ever lost that battle?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I lost or not, because I would fight.
Okay, then I think if you're a fighter, you lost it. If you
Well,
actually fought, you lost. It
I,
got the better part of you.
well, yeah, I'll fight. That's the first thing for me. Fight.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because and that's why I made a point to stay away from anger, because I felt that if I got let anger control me, I'll get to the point where I'd fight. And if I fight, I feel I couldn't control the outcome. So I was afraid of that anger. I would always leave and go home first. I guess I was one of those where it says fight or flight. I always took flight. I didn't hang around for the fight much. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Andre, I'm glad you came on, Andre. We were talking about what emotions have you dealt with in relationships? Was it we talked about the emotions with jealousy, betrayal, we talked about trust, we talked about anger and frustration. So all these things, that's where we're at right now. We're trying to flesh some of that out. Okay. Oh, but all mostly I ignored. What's okay? I get that. Just read it for me, Glenda. I didn't get it.
Uh, he said all, but mostly I ignore a lot. So my reaction causes emotional responses.
Yeah, and that's what we shared when we first came on. That a lot of us are getting to we call it feelings. In the text tonight, we talk about emotion, but we're in our neighborhood, we call it feelings. I get into my feelings quickly, and because I'm in my feelings, I'm gonna feel some kind of way. I'm gonna act some kind of way. I'm gonna show up some kind of way, and I'm really, really gonna let you know how I feel in my feelings. So that's where we are.
All right. Andre says I cause them to be in their feelings too when I ignore them. Also, when he's in his feelings, he causes them to be in their feelings as well.
And he ignored them. And is that ignoring them? Is that shut down, or is just ignoring them at the moment, or you just shut down altogether?
Well, I don't know if I shut down for myself, but when I ignore them, I feel so much better.
Okay. So you get away from them to have your own peace.
Well, like for example, if you send me a text and I'm mad, I'm not even gonna open it, so you don't get the luxury of saying that I read it.
Now that's great. Now that is great, because some people feel if I text you, you got to answer. You got to answer all your texts. You ain't. I text you 3 days ago, you didn't answer because I ain't like what you saying.
And exactly, and I sometimes won't even open it so that I don't get any madder.
Yes, yes,
That makes sense. That
awesome.
makes sense. Now, tonight's topic again is life's a wreck, but love shouldn't be. So, even though your life may be chaotic, doesn't mean that your love life needs to be. All right. So the next question, Mr. Carpenter, are we ready to move on? Did
Yes,
you
we
want?
are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
No problem. Okay. So the next question is, how do you know when your heart needs healing?
Ooh, that's a good one. If we really understand that question, that's a good one. How do you know when your heart needs healing? Is it a depression that comes over you? Is it a heaviness you feel? Is it you can't concentrate? Is it you lose focus? Is it you become withdrawn? What are some of the signs that tell you that your heart need healing? Is that when you find yourself crying for no reason or crying for a reason?
I think it's all of those. When you can't really control your own emotions, that's when you need to take a step back and say, wait, is this really that deep?
Yes, yes. And sometimes when Andre said get control of your emotions, step back, sometimes your emotion gets you so fast, like Annette said, you ready to fight. You know, you done piss me off, I'm angry. Hey, you got to put up or shut up. You know, so when you're talking about feelings in a relation, well, emotions, it's emotions. I'm in the community where they say feelings, but we're talking about emotions. If your emotions get the better part of you, can really make you hurt yourself and the other person. And that's one reason why tonight we made sure we're dealing with those emotions, because that's where majority of our problems lie, in the emotions. And sometimes if we don't have the right communication, our emotions, they just fester and get worse and worse and worse. So communication skills can help us get beyond that. But if we don't do those things, we can really put ourselves in a pickle. Okay.
All right. Did we address both of Andre's comments from the chat?
I didn't know. Let me see. What was the first one? I didn't get the first
Well,
one.
he said when you are able to control your feelings, and then he came back and said, I've learned when you ignore a person, they'll get upset enough to hurt you, especially if you give them no reaction to their pettiness.
Oh, so then they'll get in their feelings.
Course.
So you and your feelings and they in their feelings.
Yeah, they feel
So,
like I know they didn't do that. They get offended real quick.
so that's when it get messy, huh? That's what they turn the term messy. Is that
Yeah.
what that means?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And you know, I've been with people that I don't want to be around much anymore because they can get messy quick. You know,
Mhm.
you things that average person would overlook or wouldn't take to be that deep or mean that much, they just fly off the handle, almost like you can slap them in the face. And it was just something not that much. And they just, oh, they don't want to see you again, don't get out my life, and you're blocked.
Oh no, a good one is you're dead to me.
Oh yeah, I heard that one recently. Yes, 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 yes. And what I mean, but how do you get to that point? Is it you or is it the other person?
It's the other person, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. Because the reason why I say that, because a lot of times it's when you're in your feelings, it's because of another person. So that means there's two people involved. And is it you're just in your feelings because that's the kind of person you are, or the person that actually wronged you in some real form or fashion?
I think in a situation like that, there's misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that type of situation, you're not on the same. The two are not on the same level
Mm-hmm.
of understanding the relationship or what they're given or taken in the relationship. There's a loss, a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think is happening in that kind of thing.
When you have those breakdowns in it, do you try to circle back when you calm down some, or your feelings get you to the point where you don't have nothing to do with them nor the horse they rode in on? How that works?
I think it's not a matter of circling back. I think it's a matter of you have to reach a point where there has to be a separation. There, there has to be. And I think maybe after the cooling out period of the separation, and you call it circling back, but maybe you might want to try to talk about it, something, but you're still, it's not going to change the fact on what that there's, it's not the same, that you both don't have the same feeling. It's not going to equate to the matter of, oh, we can make it right. The only thing it can equate to is we can separate friendly because we're not giving each other what the other need. That's the way I see it.
You said something very important there, because here's what I noticed. I noticed when those flare ups or those emotional disagreements or those emotional flares in a relationship, a lot of times you lose something that you can never get back.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the relationship is so damaged, so cracked, that mending won't help. Have you ever got into your emotions and feelings, and then a week later you forgot what you got in your feelings about when you see the person? Have that ever happened to anybody other than me?
No, no, because if so, I'm going to remember. No, that's a bridge we're going to have to cross first.
That's a good one, Annette. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I was thinking about something. You, uh, a long time ago, marriages or couples, they used to be together for such an extended period of time,
Mhm.
so long. And you have all these things to say, congratulations, and all these happy anniversary things, this and this. I wonder about that because, sometimes people don't always say what's factual. You got to think about it. I'm sure there were some breakdowns of emotions and feelings and all those kind of things over that long period of time. So those relationships, although the numbers were behind them, do we consider all that love? What would we consider something such as that? Do you understand what I'm
I
trying to say?
understand very well. The matter of fact, the Wayman brothers had a show that came on, that used to come on back in the day, and they made whole skit on that. I think Tommy Davidson and this lady would always, they would dress up to be old couples, and the whole time they were living together, they would have episodes where they'd be trying to hit each other in the back when they can't see each other, and they would do dirty things to each other, but they were so in love. Do anybody remember that other than me?
No,
but
no.
that they made a whole segment on that, and it was really quite funny, and really that's pretty much what you said, and that they loved each other and stayed together, but they fought, they innocently fought all the time, is what they were trying to show. But you got to realize it's love is ebb and flow, give and take. Sometimes the positive emotional deposits that you put in a person, sometimes is a bridge that will carry you over the bad times. Because if you've always been good to me, and you gave me a whole bunch of positive emotional deposits in my life, and then you slip once or twice or whatever, I have to weigh all of that against what just happened. And some people say you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You just clean the baby and throw the bathwater out and keep the baby. So sometimes especially when you go long term with someone, you have disagreements. It's not always roses. It's not always the cream. It's not always good. You have to go ebb and flow. I hope I kind of answered a little bit in that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
But it's just so I'm just thinking how in today's time, I find that it seemed like we got to get it right before we get into that long time thing. Then they just did it, and I guess it worked out right, or they got it right over time. But now it's like we need it right up front. We don't kind of say, okay, well, maybe this is right and maybe that's wrong. Maybe this person is doing good part of the way, so I'll stay with them. It's like we don't accept that now. It's like, okay, we need to feel complete with them from the beginning in order to try to go to a long-term thing. Do you understand?
I understand, and that's why stuff like tonight helps. That's why community forums or partnerships, or girls night out, or some of the you go be with your friends for a while and you guys discuss it, and then you realize your problem's not that bad. You go home and you make up. That's what this is all about. because when you learn to communicate, even in the toughest times, when you learn to put programs or put things or in place that kind of can, I want to say this the right way. When you understand you're going to have conflict in your relationship, there's going to be conflict because no two people are alike. So there's always going to be conflict, some form of fashion. So how do you get in front of that? What kind of conflict resolution do you put in place? What kind of techniques or what kind of filters you can put in place before that happens? You know, are you gonna have a code word, or are you gonna have a timeout session, or when you get like this, you go into this room, I go into that room, or I think they used to call it the doghouse back in the day. You know, how do you do that? Because if you don't discuss that first, when you get in your argument and tiff or have a real upset or blowout or whatever you call it, you might break up behind something that really don't make sense. So how do you do that? And tonight we're going to talk about some triggers. We're going if Glenda let me do this one part, I'll do this one part about skill building, and we can talk about it a little bit. How you can deal with some of this stuff, because now they have so many communication tools and relationship techniques now that you can get in front of this. Because I was married 27 years, and there were times when I was saying, what in the heck am I doing here? You know, because my little emotions, I was in my feelings, I was hurt a little bit. But at the end of the day, there was enough glue there to get me beyond that hurt point, and our relationship kept going forward. You know, and like Annette said, people stay together for long lengths of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen relationships where they stayed a long time where one person just says, I'm the punching bag. I mean, I'm just gonna suck it up. And they let the other person just have their way. That's not healthy neither. Okay. What did Andre say? And I can see them every day and act like, oh, the wallpaper. Oh, okay, they're the wallpaper. And that's how some people get away. That's how some people get through it. They just let it just roll off and keep it moving. Where a relationship is supposed to be two people that's supposed to be building each other, working with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this type of stuff is all about. Glenda, you got another question? And then get another question. Then I'll talk, if you don't mind, I'll talk about emotional healing map.
Okay. The next question was, what's one thing that helps you calm down before responding? What's one thing that helps you calm down before responding?
Time.
You gotta think on it.
Go sit at the lake for about 30, 40 minutes. Take a drive. Have a cigarette.
Okay.
Give me a shot. I'm sorry. What some of them say? Retail therapy.
Retail therapy.
Yeah, retail therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a milkshake.
Oh, you got a lot of good ones.
Did I leave any out?
No, you came out with a few. Let's see if someone else.
Side piece. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, I guess that's a release. How much easier that is. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Let someone else talk about that one.
I've known someone that go to the movies. They just say, you know, piss me off so much. I'm going to the movie. I just got to go to the movie. Oh my God.
That's a serious timeout.
Yeah, they just sit. They just go and sit.
And that's productive, you know, and those are things that are productive, and those are things that will keep us from getting in trouble. because a lot, and I was talking about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I think side piece might be throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Thinking I'm not trying to go to jail. Yeah, I guess that's the point there too. That's a point too. And now when they call the police, now used to be a time you had to press charges. Now when the police come, the police can decide what charge is going to be pressed. Somebody going to jail. So there's a lot has changed now. There is a lot that's changed. And did we leave any on the table? Did we get all of them kind of fleshed out, Glenda, about
Yes, you did.
emotional shape? All right.
Yes.
But Gigi, what did Gigi say? Just don't. What I missed Gigi's. That was too fast. What was Gigi say?
Gigi said, just don't let them disturb your peace.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, let's take a minute. Look, we're gonna use the chat. We're gonna use the chat. And what I want to do is I want to talk about the emotional healing map. And this is a simple exercise. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna break it down into like a couple parts. We're gonna break it down into three parts really. And we're gonna use the chat. And we want everybody to participate because this is something that we really can benefit from. And the first thing is, do anybody have an example this week where something got you emotional, where something happened this week, or let's say last couple weeks? Have anything happened that have got you in your feelings? Anything happened that you can say, well, man, this really upset me a little bit. And you know emotionally, okay, Andre said yes. Okay, I'm going to use example. And then I want you to put your example or an example. You don't have to put your example. Put example. I want everybody to put example in chat. For instance, I was talking to someone this week, and I was trying to share my feelings, and they ignored me. They really did ignore me. And it made me feel kind of sad. And like I said, I just walked away. I just walked away and shut it down. So the trigger that triggered my feeling was they ignored me. And that's the trigger. That's the action. The trigger is what actually gets you into your feelings. Not your feelings yet, but what gets you into your feelings. The trigger was they ignored me. The emotional feeling I had was that made me sad. That really made me sad. Now, what was my healing response? Now, some people just have a response. Sometimes it's not a healing response, but my response was I walked away instead of shutting down. I just walked away and said, maybe they need a minute, or maybe they got a lot on their plate and they don't notice me. So to heal myself, I just walked away instead. Remember I told you that flight or flight? I'm the kind of person that's gonna flight instead of fight. So I just walked away for a minute and said, I'll give them a minute. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about it. We want everybody to put something in chat. Now it don't have to be something that you did. That put something you've seen this week or over the last couple of weeks. Mine was the trigger was I felt ignored by somebody that I cared for. And it made me sad, which is the emotion. And my healing response was I just walked away. Now I could have shut down and pouted or said, hey, you didn't see me, or I could have raised up, but that wouldn't have been that wouldn't have healed my soul at the time. That wouldn't have healed my spirit. So instead, I just walked away and let it cool. Okay? So I need everybody, let's take about 5 minutes. And I want everybody to write something in the chat. And we're going to read them from the chat. Or if you want to talk about yours, you can. But we're going to take a few moments. Glenda, write mine in the chat for me, please. I felt ignored. So I got sad. And I took a walk instead of shutting down. So that's mine. So I want everybody to put one in. And it don't have to be yours. It don't have to be really be you, but I want everybody to give me an example. And then we're going to talk about, in the example, we're going to talk about what's the trigger, what feeling did you have, and how did you respond? And I want you to put, we want to put a healthy response. Now, you can put how you respond, and we'll talk about it, was it a healthy response or not? But how you respond to some things can really make it a good thing or a bad thing. Now, did everybody understand what I'm asking of you? All right, we'll put something in the chat. I want everybody to put something in the chat. I put mine in the chat. I felt ignored this week. They made my emotion was sad, and I walked away instead of shutting down. Okay, because I'm the one that won. I'm a flight instead of fight. Okay, we got about four minutes left, and then we're gonna go through them. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna talk about what Glenda said earlier. She said that her husband, and if Glenda, do you mind, since you brought it out loud, can I use you as an example? Do you mind?
Right.
I should ask you. I apologize.
Go right.
She said that her husband cheated.
Right now.
So cheating was the trigger. And she said she felt betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Felt needed.
She said she felt betrayed, and we all know her book. She moved to Georgia. She got out of town.
Now that's a good one.
She got out of town. So the trigger was her husband cheated. The emotion was she felt betrayed. Her actual healing response was she moved completely out of state. She moved to Georgia, start all over again. And that's her book and her story, y'all. And see how that works? See how easy, I mean, that's what it is. We got 2 minutes, and then we're going to go through some of these. But I just want to see how that was. That's what it is. And once we get to identify this, we can control our emotions. We can get our emotions in check. We can really change the energy of our relationships and of our lives just by understanding, naming it, and breaking it down. Just that simple. Got 1 minute, and we're gonna start going through them. But that was one. Person cheated. The other person felt betrayed. And then they took themselves out of the situation altogether. They threw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, last minute, and we'll go ahead and talk about these. Now, if you want to share your own, you can. If you don't want to share your own, Glenda can share it for you. But if you want to share your own, you can unmute and share yours. All right, time is up. If you want to, for all those that want to share their own, you can start now. Anybody want to share theirs before Glenda starts sharing everybody's?
So recently, someone
one at a time. Andre first, and then I think it was Gigi second. Go ahead, Andre.
So recently, someone said to me that I feel like I want them to be chasing me or kissing up to me or whatever. And I said, thank you for your response. And I ain't blocked them, but I started ignoring them at that point. We have no conversation since then. But I thank them for their honesty.
Okay, so in that they challenge you with what they said, correct? It was like a challenge. Am I right?
Well, I don't know if it was a challenge because I really didn't understand where it was coming from because in that moment, I was actually right in the decision that I made. But you know, when someone wants to be wrong, they want to throw all these distractors.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, thank you for your honesty of how you really feel about what you think that you perceive of me. And then I've never responded since. And so, yet, I'm the one over here sleeping good, but I'm getting all these stupid voicemails.
Okay, let's go through that. And Andre, help us out. We're going through that. Okay, what was the trigger in exchange? What was the trigger?
So
What got you to realize something was wrong?
An incident happened that I disagreed with. And when I disagreed with it, I just put it out on the table, and I wasn't really as upset when I was in the disagreeing.
Okay.
But like I said, when people get upset, when they don't have their way, some people will throw these little temper tantrums.
Okay. So it was an incident was a trigger, and we don't have to say what it is. And then you felt what emotion came to you right away? What emotion did you feel?
I said to myself, this person is a liar. So as long as I know you're a liar and you know you're a liar, it's fair game. But when I think you're telling the truth and you know you're lying, that's not fair.
Okay, then your feeling was overwhelmed, betrayal, or what was your feeling?
I think I was more shocked. And you know how they say that.
So let's say you were surprised, emotionally surprised.
Yes, I was caught off guard. And you know how they say that, you always knew, but you didn't want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was that type of situation. And then when I realized it, I said, okay, I get it.
All right. So I need wait. Well, we want to make sure we get the emotion right. Because what emotion? How did you emotionally feel?
I think I was more surprised. Well, no, I think I had an epiphany. That's the best way.
Okay.
I had an epiphany.
Epiphany. Okay. Epiphany. Okay. Now, what was your healing response? How did you respond?
Honestly, I didn't necessarily block. I just hadn't responded. I didn't say the person was dead in my mind, but I really hadn't thought about them.
Yeah. So far you're ignoring them, or are you avoiding, ignoring?
I didn't avoid, because if I saw them today, I'm gonna still look at them like they was the wall.
Okay, so you still haven't told me the response, the healing response.
I think for me, I guess I've been healed because I've really had no interest in engaging in the thought. Like, the thought literally has not crossed my mind to even say, oh, well, let me figure out how to even correct this or repair the situation.
So I guess you can say you are strong enough not to get sucked in, is what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you became non-responsive.
That's the best way to put it, yes.
Non-responsive. Okay, awesome. Okay. So that's real life, because that's when you do those things, you control your own emotions. So you didn't go off, you didn't get angry where you want to fight somebody, or you didn't get to where
correct. And
run
that's
them
where
over
the
the
problem
car.
comes. Because when you're not giving these reactions, I guess people feel like you should give this equal reaction back. And when you don't give it, it makes you mad. It's almost like the wife yelling at the husband. And when he's just sitting there, then all of a sudden she smacks him because he ain't responded.
That's it. So you didn't escalate it, because they were trying to escalate it. You shut it down pretty much.
Exactly. It was a mute point to me. I said what I had to say. I was right, and I moved on.
Excellent. Okay. Excellent job, Andre. Anybody got any comments about Andre? Any support or any comments about his ordeal?
Well said.
Okay. I think Gigi was next. Weren't you next, Gigi? Was Gigi next?
Well, you said it, but
yeah, because when Andre started, somebody else was talking. Somebody was talking. I thought it was
Ava.
Oh, Ava. I'm sorry, Ava. I apologize, Ava. All right, Ava. What? Share yours.
Okay. Well, give you a little backstory.
Okay.
I've been sick, so I've been operating off of what? I think I had like 15 hours of sleep for a total of 3 days altogether. And I take care of my mom. So I get up in the morning, I go to work. I went to the grocery store for my mother, went to my mother's house, cooked her dinner, put the food away, cleaned up, and left to go home. So now it's about like almost 8 o'clock at night. So my sister calls me the next day for something. And then she's at my mom's house and she's like, you left this kitchen a mess. What? Now, mind you, my sister does not work.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done all of this stuff. And you saw what I cooked for and everything. And you had the nerve to say that? And like, I usually just ignore her or whatever, but no, she got it. She got it. And I just had to cuss her out and hung the phone up on her.
Okay.
And that felt so good to me.
Okay. So the sister comment from the sister was a trigger.
Oh, yes.
And then what emotion did you feel right away? Was it overwhelmed?
Anger.
Anger. Oh, straight anger. Okay.
Straight anger.
Straight anger. Okay. And what was the healthy response? Or I guess yours, what was the response?
She got cussed out.
Okay.
And I usually don't do that, but it felt so good.
Okay, cussed out. So in other words, you communicated very effectively.
Yes, I did.
You communicated your feelings very effectively to her.
And phone up on her.
Okay, got it. All right. Okay, that worked. All right, we got the trigger, we got the emotion, and we got the healthy response. Direct communication, hung up. Okay, who's next? Great job, Ava. Who's next? All right, if no one else want to go next, Glenda, you want to start reading the ones in the chat? You don't have to tell the name. Just read the comment.
Well, Ava. Okay. Well,
Ava
okay.
did hers already.
Right. So I have Sharon.
Don't tell the name. We don't need the name. We just need the
Okay.
Well, I
John.
don't have her telling my name.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. All right, Sharon. All right, because we got
Sharon, you want to tell
as much
yours,
as
or you want me to read it?
I'll tell it. Okay,
Go ahead.
my situation was someone thinking that I'm stupid, talking to me like I'm stupid. I hate that, and my response to that was by letting them know that I'm not even going to entertain that conversation because I know they know I know better.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right. So what was the trigger?
Okay, the trigger, I'm gonna say like in her community, they playing with my emotions, playing with my feelings,
exactly.
Right? They playing with my feelings. Okay, so they playing with her feelings. So that was a trigger. Now, what was your emotion? What did you feel from that? What did that make you feel, Sharon?
I didn't even entertain a conversation because I felt like they know I should know. I know better.
Oh, and now back in the day, we used to call that non and void.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I was in the same community she was in, so that's why I know so much.
Yeah.
All right, now what was your healthy response?
Healthy response.
Not entertaining the conversation.
Okay, so in other words,
I would have had to
shut it down.
Yeah, I shut it down.
Say you shut it down. All right. So she felt the trigger was somebody playing her emotions. The feeling she had was unavoid, and then the health response, she shut it down.
Exactly.
That's the way it works in her community. All right. Who's next? What's the next one?
I don't think there was another one because it was just.
Andre said he had a second one.
He had a second one?
Yeah, somebody said I got a second one. It's like Andre, I saw Andre. Did you write that or Andre wrote that?
No, that was a response. I put it in the chat. I responded to something he said. But there's not another one. Annette, you have something you want to share?
I do, but I kind of don't know how to say it. I have someone that has like a person that has truly ignored me. Act like I'm not there. When they see me, I see them and we talk. They don't talk or whatever, but they have a need for me. And they let me know that they had a need for me. It's something they want of me. And I haven't responded to them. I just said, okay. One thing is I'm a notary, and this person they see me all the time, or they see me and they'll turn their head as if I'm not there, like it's a problem or something to speak or something. And I take note of that. It doesn't bother me. I just take note of it. But then they stop and say, "Hey, I need you to do that thing for me." And I know what that is. And I just look at it and say, okay. I just said that and just walked away. because I have yet to respond. I haven't said anything to it, but I think that's sort of like a relationship kind of thing. It's not a love or whatever, but it's like you you act like I'm not there, but now when you need me, it's now I'm so whatever to you now.
Right, right.
Okay.
That makes a difference to me. I guess that's a in your feeling kind of thing.
Yep,
I
it is.
how to say that, but that has bothered me. Like, see,
Can
I'm like,
I help you? Can I help you out a little
yeah,
bit?
yeah, yeah.
They ignored you, and they have a need with you. So some people call that sometiming.
Sometimes, they can be sometimes because I can be too. But the bottom line to this, I pay attention to your
Correct.
ignorance of me. How you know if you can see me, but then you turn your head quickly as if I'm not there or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
I pay
Almost like
attention.
they're trying to avoid you, almost.
Yes,
Yes,
and
and then so the emotion was you feel bewildered because you wonder what in the heck this person's doing, what's going on here. So it's
I
kind of
feel
like
like
bewildered.
I feel like keep it that way all the time. Don't change. Don't
Right.
stay your way. I don't mind that, but don't try to now use me because I feel some kind of way about
Yeah.
that.
So you didn't respond. In other words, you matched their energy. If
Oh,
she want to feel that way, hey, I match your energy. You don't. I'm not important to you, so you ain't important to me.
cool. That's right.
So you match
And
the energy.
and I want to add to that, the way I look at it or interpret it, you need me, I don't need you.
That thank you.
Yep.
Thank
So and so the reason why I wanted to go through this right here, these are small steps, a small way to respond and heal. You always have an out. You always have a way to respond. Once you can identify the triggers and then you understand your emotional feelings, then it's on you to heal yourself. It's your responsibility to heal yourself because no one's going to come to your defense unless you at a point you can't decipher and you have a problem with your emotional feelings. And that's when you go see a psychiatrist or a therapist to help you with it. But if you can rationalize your feelings, you can come up with a healthy response. And that's what this exercise was about. If you can map out your emotions, then you can control your emotions. Because two things your emotions will do. Your emotions will have you where it's fear or control.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to that point where you start fear or start feeling like you have to get aggressive, it's really out of hand. So that's what this exercise was about. This tool was remind you that you have control. Things happen because we're human. Some of us are messy. So things gonna happen. So these healing responses give you a chance to control, give you a chance to get yourself where you're grounded, where you don't have to act. They used to say ignorant back in the day. You don't have to act that way. All right. Any questions about the healing map? Any questions about the emotional healing map at all? Everybody kind of
Mm-hmm.
understand that? Okay. All right. Linda, let's take us home. Unless somebody got questions.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think anybody, nothing, there's nothing extra in the chat. I don't think no one has any questions at the moment.
Yeah. Now, have anyone, before we let Linda take us home, anyone ever had any problems in this area where they think it was a bit much for them to control or handle? Or did tonight kind of shed a little light on it, give you some extra tools to use?
I know for myself in my younger years, like from my divorce and relationships thereafter, it was hard for me to, control my emotions and stuff like that. But as I got older and realized I couldn't change people and I couldn't make people treat me the way I needed to be treated, it got easier because I would tap out real quick and I put you on a serious block. So if I was able to provide you with a service, regardless of what it was, cook a meal or, show up for you for anything, it was easy to put you on a block because you no longer have access to me. But I feel more confident now, and with the tools that you shared tonight, I can use them moving forward.
I saw Ava's one. I understand Ava. That Ava got me laughing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at what Ava put in the chat. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I understand that. I have the same issue with mine, Ava. So, but we still fight out of love. All right. So if there's no more comments or feedbacks on tonight's topic, I'm gonna just bring us to a end. As we close the night, take a deep breath. You've done something powerful just by showing up. May your week be guided by peace, patience, and progress, even if life feels like a wreck. Remember, love doesn't have to be. You are healing, you are growing, you are rising. Thank you so much for joining us here at Sunday Night at 9 with Coach Glenda and Mr. Rufus Carpenter. We look forward to seeing you next week. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Good
You guys are
night.
awesome.
Good night.